Every year, when a new year begins, I tell myself the same quiet sentence in my heart. This year will be different. I will be better. I will do more. I will finally become the person I want to be. But deep inside, I also feel a small fear. I remember how many times I said the same thing before and slowly forgot it after a few weeks. And that memory is not loud. It does not shout at me. It just sits quietly in the corner of my mind, reminding me of unfinished journals, empty planners, and habits that lasted only a short time. So when the new year arrives again, my hope feels gentle but careful, like someone who wants to trust again but is afraid of getting hurt. So, on the first morning of the new year, when the sky is still dark and the room is silent, I wake up and lie on my bed for a moment. I do not move right away. I do not touch my phone. I just breathe slowly and listen to the quiet sound of my own breath. In that moment, time feels slower than usual. My body feels warm under the blanket. My mind feels half awake, half dreaming. The world feels soft, and my thoughts begin to move gently instead of rushing. I think about the past year, about unfinished plans, about English words I learned but never used, about days when I was busy but not really present, about moments when I worked a lot but did not feel alive. And for a few seconds, I want to stay in bed and hide from the new year. Staying still feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels like nothing can ask anything from me. But then I remember that I promised myself something small this time. Not a big goal, not a perfect plan, not a long list of habits. Just a simple daily routine. Something I can return to even when I feel tired or lost. So I sit up. I place my feet on the floor. I feel the cold ground under my skin and stand up slowly. I do not rush. I do not try to feel motivated. I simply move, one step at a time. I notice how my body feels slightly stiff, how my back needs time to straighten, how my legs feel heavy after sleep. And this reminds me that starting anything new is often uncomfortable at first. I walk to the window and open it a little. I let the cool morning air touch my face. The sky is light orange and pale yellow. The city is not awake yet. There are no loud sounds, no busy movements, only quiet buildings and empty streets. This quiet moment feels like a gift, a short space before the world becomes noisy and demanding. I stand there for a while, breathing in, breathing out, allowing myself to simply exist without doing anything useful. Then I walk to the kitchen. I fill the kettle with water, turn it on, and wait. While the water heats, my mind starts to speak again. It tells me that I will not keep this routine, that I will stop after a few days like before, that I am only excited because it is a new year, and soon life will become busy again and I will forget. But this time, I do not fight these thoughts. I do not argue with them. I let them be there, like background noise. I know these thoughts come from experience, not from weakness. They are trying to protect me from disappointment. When the water is ready, I pour it slowly. I watch the steam rise and feel the warmth in my hands. I sit at the table with my cup of tea, holding it gently. I am not rushing. I am not checking messages. I am just sitting and being present. This moment feels simple but powerful. I am choosing to be with myself before being with the world. This is the first part of my daily routine, sitting quietly and giving myself time before the world asks anything from me. I notice how my shoulders relax a little, how my breathing becomes deeper, how my thoughts become less sharp. After a few minutes, I take out my old notebook. It is not clean or perfect. The pages are not white anymore. Some lines are messy. Some pages are half empty. But it feels comfortable. It feels honest. I write one simple sentence. Today, I will show up. I do not write long plans or lists. I do not write promises about changing my whole life. Just this one sentence. A small promise feels honest and possible. It feels like something I can actually keep even on a bad day. Then I close the notebook and stretch my body gently. I move my arms, my shoulders, my legs, feeling the stiffness slowly disappear. I notice where my body feels tight and where it feels tired. I breathe into those places. I do not force myself to exercise hard. I just move enough to wake up my body and remind me that we are alive and here. Then I put on my shoes and step outside for a short walk. The air feels fresh. The streets are quiet. I do not bring music or videos. I listen to the sound of my steps, the wind, a bird, a passing motorbike. During this walk, my mind feels clearer. My thoughts are slower. I feel connected to the moment instead of being lost in my head. This walk is not about fitness. It's about grounding myself in the present. After I return home, I prepare a simple breakfast. Nothing special, just food that gives me energy. I eat slowly, tasting each bite, not rushing, not scrolling. Then I sit down for my English practice. This is where many difficult feelings begin to appear. Last year, English made me feel frustrated. I knew many words, but I couldn't make sentences. I could understand when I listened. I could recognize words when I read, but when I tried to speak, my mind felt empty or crowded in the wrong way. It was full of rules and doubts. Every time I failed to express myself, I felt smaller, quieter, and more afraid to try again. So this year, I changed my way, not because I suddenly became confident, but because I became tired of feeling stuck. I choose a short story with simple English. Nothing advanced, nothing impressive, just clear sentences with common words. I listen slowly, even if I do not understand everything. While listening, my mind sometimes starts to judge me. It says, "You should understand this by now. You have learned English for so long. Why is this still hard?" I notice that voice, but I do not follow it. I bring my attention back to the sound, to the rhythm of the sentence. Then I listen again and repeat out loud, sentence by sentence. My voice is quiet at first, sometimes unsure, sometimes broken. When I hear my own voice, I feel a little uncomfortable. Speaking English makes me feel exposed, like people can see my mistakes even when I am alone. But I keep going for 5 minutes, not more. Consistency is more important than time. Stopping while it still feels possible helps me come back the next day. Some days, repeating sentences feels smooth, and I feel proud. Other days, my mouth feels slow, my brain feels heavy, and I make many mistakes. In those moments, I want to stop and tell myself that this is not working. But instead, I remind myself that speaking is not about sounding good, it is about training movement. Even broken sentences are better than silence. As the day moves on, messages arrive. Work begins. People need answers. The calm feeling of the morning slowly fades. My attention is pulled in many directions. Sometimes I forget my promise and feel tired or stressed. When I notice this, I stop for 1 minute. I take a deep breath and remind myself that showing up does not mean being perfect. It just means returning to my breath, returning to the moment, returning to what I can control. In the afternoon, some days feel heavy. I feel slow. I make mistakes. I compare myself to others. I see people who speak English easily and confidently, and I feel like I am far behind. That feeling hurts more than I want to admit. It touches old doubts, old fears, and old beliefs about not being good enough. For a moment, I feel like quitting again, like telling myself that maybe this is just how it is. But this year, instead of running away, I stay with that feeling. I let it sit with me. I do one small task, then another, even when motivation is gone. I am learning that progress does not always feel good. Sometimes it feels boring. Sometimes it feels uncomfortable, but it is still progress. When evening comes, I clean my space a little. I prepare dinner. I eat without my phone and allow myself to rest. My body feels tired. My mind feels full. Instead of judging myself for not doing more, I thank myself for what I did manage to do. Later, I open my notebook again and write 3 small moments from the day. Not achievements, just simple things like a warm drink, a short walk, 1 English sentence spoken out loud. When I read these lines, I realize that my day was not empty. It was quiet but meaningful. Some days I fail. I wake up late, skip my routine, and feel disappointed. The old voice comes back and says, "See, you are the same." But I remind myself that failure is not the end. Quitting is. This thought changes everything. It means I am allowed to start again without punishment. So the next morning I begin again, slowly, gently, without trying to fix everything at once. Over time, I realize that this daily routine is not about discipline or control. It is about coming back to myself again and again, about choosing presence over pressure, kindness over punishment. This new year, I do not promise success. I promise presence. I promise to show up even on difficult days, to speak even when my voice shakes, to walk even when I am tired. And if you are listening to this story right now and feel the same quiet hope and fear inside your heart, remember this: you do not need a perfect life or a perfect routine. You only need 1 small habit, 1 honest moment, and the courage to begin again today.